Let's start tonight with a heart tune. How do you feel about that? It is Super Bowl Sunday, right? And you are the I don't care about football group.
Oh, no, it starts at 6:30. We can get back.
So I think that it could be very nice to send healing, wholeness, and strength to everybody watching in person or on television, and to those who are playing, that they stay safe. So love, wholeness, healing to all. All right? Who will start? James?
Sure.
How did your month go? Fast. Fast isn't bad.
Very busy.
Busy. And that leads to fast as well. Do you notice any energy changes? And how were you with it?
Very tired.
Tired?
Not sleeping very well.
Not sleeping well?
Waking up and just like in the middle of the night going, I'm so excited. I want to, I was just like, I was ready to go. And also too, though, there was times during the month where I felt like the energy was helping me see some more things I needed to clear out.
Always good.
Very clearly, and it was great because I did some tools that you've given us for that. But the end of the month kind of became very uplifting for me in the beginning of this month.
Good, good. That's very good. Stephen?
Felt like there was energy like knocking on the door and like a push, and when I would open it up, it felt like it was downloading into me.
Downloading. Remember that word.
Pushing from time to time to get in or
Aye.
say, hey, open up.
Very vivid dreams
Vivid.
and unusual characters in the dreams.
Unusual characters.
Yes.
And by unusual, do you mean not familiar, you've not dreamed about them before, or
I was dreaming about politicians that I wouldn't normally have a conversation with.
all right. Well, good. I'm
Yes.
glad you did.
Yeah, we did.
Aye.
We had a couple of them.
Aye, interesting. Right at the beginning of the month, a good force of energy. But around the middle of the month, you had energy transmissions that were about, and I said, remember that download idea, that were about your connecting more deeply within what you really are. Now, just remind me, what is it you really are? You are energy, you are pure source energy, or not necessarily so pure with the human on, but close enough. You are love.
Spirit having a human.
You are spirit in human form. All of these things. Your most ancient self is connecting back into its current self. Frank, it must be really cold in here. Well, it was just a grain when Duna put her hat on, but when Stephen put gloves on, I thought, all right, this must be pretty chilly.
Someone had said it at 58.
Well, that would explain your wimpy little chill, wouldn't it? Oh, I can't take that. It's too cold. It's 58. And your entity, that spirit that you are, your entity, is beginning to move in a greater fashion within you. And many of you can feel that. You feel it as subtle changes, not necessarily as a big crash. It's remembering an old friend, not meeting a new one. And that should be a good anchor for you to refer back to through this year. This is a very important year in your life. It is about the great awakening. It is about the massive density change. It is about a very huge portion of the plan coming into effect. This is a magical time. And it really will make a difference if you put on your magical hat regularly. You allow yourself to remember this is a time of magic and miracles. And very quick manifestation always sounds good. Remember, be careful of that. Because if you are quickly manifesting what you're thinking about, then you need to be careful with what you are thinking about to ensure that it is going to benefit your life, as opposed to slowing things down, sending you back into core issues. Magic, miracles, and manifestation. So, what is magic to you? You think Harry Potter? Aye.
I always think of a paper clip or a safety pin,
Good.
because you taught us about that, I guess, years ago now, when you taught us that magic is anything that we don't understand how it works, or that does something
Special.
special.
Yes, magic is often labeled as such simply because you don't have the words to explain it yet. Your science hasn't quite gotten to it yet. And that's very true. But more often than not, magic is simply a useful way to get something done. Which is why I use paper clips as an example. Look at all the things you can do with a paper clip. You can stick it into a socket. You can. You shouldn't, but you can. You can hold papers together with it. You can unfold it, unbend it. Straighten it, that's the word, thank you very much. And move it into other objects.
You can use it as a flipper on your zipper.
You can use it as a flipper on your zipper.
You lose the flipper, yeah. You really can't pull it back up or down without something, yeah.
Here's the.
He's not really going to demonstrate it. Oh,
Slipper breaks.
So you can put a paper clip. I had to do it at work one day. I mean,
But you swallowed yours.
yeah, that's another story.
Never mind.
You can eat them.
You can use them as a
Tool to pick a lock?
Very good.
You can
You can
use them
extract a CD.
to clean under your nails.
Kick your teeth.
extract a CD from, that's stuck in a CD player in a computer.
Extract a stock CD from your computer.
Some devices can be reset with it.
Some devices can be reset with it. You see, they're magical. Instruments of magic. Because you're able to take it from what it was to become what you need. So what do you need? In this world, very, very often, individuals have a lot of needs. They call that high maintenance, right? And if you were from some other countries in this world, even the poorest among you would be considered high maintenance, wouldn't they? What you need is love. You need to be able to give it, you need to be able to receive it. Love. Now, this is the month of Valentine's Day. And as you know, I find that particular one of your oddest holidays. Let's celebrate beating a saint to death. Shooting him full of arrows until he is dead. But there goes your Saint Valentine. Now it has become, in order to show your love, you must give things, right?
Flowers, flowers.
Of course. You give flowers, chocolate, teddy bears.
Sweet and cuddly.
Jewelry.
If we go with history,
Diamonds.
nothing. Pretty much, nothing.
Oh, David, you're so romantic.
Well, I'm saying to me,
Oh, to you.
I give like crazy, but
I might get a few paper clips.
You might get a really big paper clip.
I can use it as a toothpick.
Love. Any month is what you need. But is it what every human needs? Now, you've heard me say before that what humans need are two things:
Respect and recognition.
respect and recognition. And that's very true. Your human self seeks that. The spirit you are seeks love. And the more love you have in your life, the more the spirit you are is going to function as opposed to the human you are. And when the spirit you are is functioning in your life, that is when the miracles come about. Now, what are miracles? Who knows? Obviously,
Healing miracles.
Healing is a very good miracle. You're the walking, talking version of it.
It can be a conversion of something that you thought just couldn't change into something much higher.
I'm going to change that the slightest bit. She said, it's a conversion of something you thought wouldn't change, moving it into something higher. It is actually the conversion of thought into something higher. And within the next few months, you are going to see the miracle of your changed thought, creating manifestation in your world. Your thoughts, you know that what you think comes about. What you spend the most of your thoughts on is what your life is like. In star weaving, each phrase begins with what? I am. I am is a very powerful statement. Any time you label yourself, I am smart, I am happy, I am rich, I am not rich, your brain hears it. But remember that your brain is a threefold mechanism. And you manifest your world through your gut brain. You reach into spirit with your heart brain. You work the physical body and access your spiritual connection through, really not the brain itself, but functions within that brain. So, what you need is going to manifest through that gut connection. What you want is going to manifest through your heart connection. And what you truly are is going to manifest through the crown brain crystalline connection. So this is the month in which you're going to be surrounded with hearts everywhere. Hearts and hearts and hearts to remind you constantly, what are you feeling? What are you doing with what you are feeling? Are you loving? Are you loved? Are you giving love? Creating a system within your life of a constant focus on love is going to change you. But it's going to move magic into miracles and allow your manifestation to be based on the heart. What does your heart want? Now, a very easy thing that your heart wants, aside from love, is everyday kindness and thoughtfulness. Here is the thing about the heart. It is the doorway into your spirit self. So what you need is actually pretty simple. You need a reflection of yourself. And here is where you make the choice. Is it going to be my human self or my spiritual self? So when you focus your mind on I am love, I am a function of source consciousness in this world. I am And your definition behind I am is a positive, love-filled experience, you're going to create the miracles. And because I know that some of you really like it in 1, 2, 3 form, I'm going to give you a pattern you can follow. Here is how it works. First, think about opening yourself to love. Maybe you'll do that by saying something as simple as, I'm a function of love in this world. I am a giver of love. I am a receiver of love. I am love. Maybe you want to just visualize your heart being open. Now, I don't recommend that you think of your physical heart at this point, but you think of that spirit connection. Open, willing, receiving. Maybe you want to just open your hands as a signal of that. Just love, or love, or love. Next, I want you to think of an experience in which you felt truly loved. Your mate, your dog, your friend. You felt loved, safe, happy, whole. And then I want you to think of a time in which you gave love to someone or something that you truly loved. So essentially, that second step is twofold. You are immersing yourself in the memory of a time in which you received and in which you gave love. Doesn't have to be the same experience, doesn't have to be the same individual or puppy. It's just you gave it, you received it. Now, this gets tricky. You've thought of it. Now I want you to really experience it. Allow yourself to remember that experience in sense around. What were you hearing, seeing, touching, tasting, smelling? As many of those that apply. What were you feeling? And allow it to come back up. Put yourself fully in that place. Be that love. Now that might take a little practice, but you're going to find that you have 1 or 2 experiences that you can always go to. Now, what you've done so far is you have recognized that you are a function of love. Quickly, before I get to the next step, why am I choosing love? Oh, well, it's February. It must have something to do with that. No. Why?
It's the driving force in the universe.
Because love is the driving force in the universe.
And because it's your connection into spirit.
It is your connection into your spirit self.
I was just going to say, it's what we are.
And it ultimately is the way source functions in this world. And you are a function of source. So love is what you are. Because it is the highest frequency of manifestation. So all of that fully inserted, recognized, and lived in your moment. Now, what it is you are desiring to manifest, while you are in that state, you're going to see it as already there, already complete. You're not asking for this, you are shifting into where it is done. And because it is done, you are going to visualize the experience complete, fully a part of you and your life. And you're going, last step, to express gratitude for having it in your life. Now, that's a 4-step process, although the second step is A and B. What were they? The first one is opening your heart, recognizing your connection of love. The second one, A and B.
Think of where you gave and think of where you received love.
And not just love, but great, all-encompassing, unconditional love. Step 3. See it. See it as already complete, already manifested, there. Again?
Smell-o-vision.
Smell-o-vision. But again, in full sense around. And last, gratitude. That takes your magic into miracles, into manifestation. This is what your world wants for you. It's not about, am I worthy? It's not about, do I deserve? Trust me, you deserve a lot you don't get.
Thank God.
Really? It's not about, have I struggled enough or thought hard enough or become what you want to create. And the creation makes itself. 2 warnings that come with this. The first one is, if you are smart, you will put out this or something better for the highest good. Have you ever manifested something you realized you did not want? I promise you do it every day. But when you're putting out there, this is what I see. I am this. And you recognize that it's manifesting. You don't want to limit it, nor do you want it in your life if it's not for your highest good. That is not an excuse. That's your caveat. It's a refuge. This or something better for the highest good. The second thing that you want to remember when you are manifesting is patience. Because you are becoming what is needed to have this in your life. Now, ideally, what you're asking for is going to manifest immediately, but if you're not ready for it, you're going to limit it. universe, I want to win the lottery ticket. But you really suck at taking care of your money. You need to become that one who is taking care of it. And you'll find that instead of, sure enough, winning I don't know much about your lottery, what would be a tiny amount you could win? You get your $1 back? Wow. Well, I guess that means that you're winning your money back. By not losing. You are winning by not losing. So, yes, there is that. It could be, I want to win this lottery, and you dutifully scratch off all of the numbers and you get your $1 back. Or you get the 10 or 20 million, whatever. What are you good with now? You will find, I'm not saying it's necessary, but you will find that if you start small, it becomes second nature to you. If you start really big, you must be sure that that little voice in your head, that very human voice that says, not going to happen, is totally turned off. Not just for that moment, but for all the moments. So because of that, I encourage you to start small. I don't want to win the lottery, I want to find a quarter. Stuart found a quarter this week and said, all right, universe, I will accept it, and it was glued to the sidewalk. I laughed for a very long time. So you might want to think of the little corners that way in which the money comes to me. There are no strings or glues attached. It's easy and the flow is filled with love and joy.
Pretty hard to have a SMART goal when you have a caveat of this or something better. I'm pretty sure you've talked about this, but accepting or recognizing what's better and that it's come is very important, because you're saying, oh, I want to manifest a SUV, and you manifest a yellow Volkswagen. Oh, that's what you get. So there's a big step in there of recognizing and accepting that this was your manifestation, because your mind has it that you were going for this, hybrid SUV. I had to throw that in for everybody's going, gas guzzler, versus the Volkswagen.
So you're saying that it's very, very important to remember that when you have put out what you desired to manifest, and you get a piece of it instead of all of it, to recognize that, yes, this is a part of the process, keep going.
Yeah, I think it's very important that whenever you're manifesting something to write it down and revisit it, because other than that, you're only going to remember either when you succeed or when you fail, and you're not going to know why or what happened in the long run, because we tend to forget. So depending whether you're a, airy-fairy, or everything went wonderful person, or if you're doom and gloomy, or, your manifestations will either all have happened or not.
I call that a success journal, in which you put down not only those things you are desiring to manifest and how they show themselves, which is very good, but also all of the good manifestations in your life. And the reason that you want to do that is because, as with starting very small, you begin conditioning yourself to recognizing your power, to look what I have done so far, I can take that next step. I can go a little further, a little faster, a little more concrete. I'm not so big on revisiting it once you've put it out there. And the only reason is because some of you are highly obsessive. And you will think about it, and think about it, and think about it, and you'll start pulling in little pieces of negative thinking instead of that full-blown power of moving it all the way through to manifestation. Sometimes it's better to put it out and walk away. If you are one of those obsessive thinkers, if you might possibly be thinking about it outside of that state of pure loving power, the connection into love is the connection into the source field. The field of energy through which all form manifests. The field of energy that many of you call God or Goddess. The field of energy that is the manifestation element. That manifestation, that source field, needs direction. And love is the direction, the magnet that pulls those thought forms together into an energy package that eventually becomes that table you need at. Putting it out in full grace and glory. Whew. Putting it out in full grace and glory, seeing it as manifest and grateful for it in your life, or something better, for the highest good, opens you, touches into the source field, and starts the manifestation process. If you overthink it, it's because you're worried. You're worried that you just weren't clear enough, or you didn't have enough detail, or you couldn't smell it well enough. And you feel the need to push it harder. You're actually adding your negative focus into it and removing the good power position you gave it to begin with. So be very careful if you know that you are an overthinker, or you have compulsive behaviors, because that will move you into charging it with negative force. What if you are working to manifest something you totally don't need? You still should be able to manifest it. If you are in a full flow of energy with the source field to bring it about. The universe doesn't care if you have wants. It's as happy to give you your wants as it is your needs. But it's a manifestation process, not a gift dumped into your lap. because you were a good little girl or a boy. It's like working with a computer. You put the right stuff in, you're going to get the right stuff out. It is worthless to yell at your computer, isn't it? Because the computer is simply doing what it has been programmed to do, which is how most humans function. You're simply doing what your program has told you. You have simply been manifesting what your program tells you you may have. There's a problem with that. Because if your program is saying you don't deserve it, or you have to work really hard for it, or the multiple other versions of that you have in your head from this world that you live in, if that program is the one that is functioning, you're not going to have a clean and clear manifestation. The universe wants you to have everything that you need to be the best that you can be. It's on your side. So what is it you want to manifest? What is it that will allow your life to function in such a way that you're able to be your best? Well, because it is the month that it is, I will tell you that ultimately, those things that bring love into your life, the love of Source, not the love of each other, although that is a part of the love of Source, those things that allow you to connect more deeply with what you are, instead of simply who you are. Those are the things that you will easily manifest as you recognize that they are a part of your life. So, as I said when I began, what are you? You are energy. You are a spirit force in this world. You are a function of Source in this world. You are the love of Source in this world. From the initial release of intent, love became the operational manifesto of life force. Love. So to manifest the greatest, you need to love the greatest. And the more you recognize yourself as a function of Source love, the more quickly you are going to manifest the magic, the miracles, and those things that allow you to be at your highest and best. Now, having said all of that, I have one last fairly quick thing to bring into this, and that is your recognizing that you deserve, you should have you're releasing the consciousness that says cannot, should not, do not, never have, never will. What do you need to do in your life? And every one of you are going to have a separate answer for this. What do you need to do in your life to become the positive force of love that does not doubt, but knows, that does not fear, but loves? What do you need to bring about the change that takes away the negative input that day-to-day living kind of wants to dump onto you all the time? I'd like to give you one small exercise that you can start your day with that will help shield you from all of that. And this is very simple. Don't let it fool you. You have soap bubble, little stick circle, yes? And you go, and you create bubbles, yes? Little soap bubbles, or big soap bubbles, or sometimes very, very big soap bubbles. Imagine that you are right in the center of a big, beautiful, iridescent soap bubble. And that soap bubble is made up of love, and it filters everything that comes to you through that love before it gets to you. So you are surrounded by a great bubble of love that filters any negativity coming your way. The second part of that, because just seeing the filter isn't enough, the second part of that is you are Teflon, non-stick. Yes? Yes? All right, you are a Teflon. So anything that your mind might have allowed into that bubble doesn't stick. That's simple. Start your day inside that bubble of love, surrounded in non-stick substance. All you receive is love, and nothing negative sticks to you. Very, very simple, but make it a habit. Every day, very simple, start your day with it. Don't keep thinking about it. You don't need to renew it. Just, there it is. And see you change you. Now, of course, it would also make a big difference if you chose not to hang out with all those negative people and not go to all of those sites on your computer that are very negative, and not to put yourself in situations that you know are going to trigger your worries or fears, or all of that is true. But that just adds to the power. It's a part of the cleaning and clearing. The universe is a positive force. And when you are functioning positively, when you are functioning as love, then you draw more positive force your way. Now, there's a lot of physics that goes with that manifestation. Some of you know it already. a whole manifestation set of teachings that might already be in your mind about this is what I must do and this is how I must do it. I will say even I have taught a 5-point system for manifestation. Ignore all of that. A positive function of love manifests positive functions within your life. And that's all it takes. Make this month your practice month. Try it. Watch it work for you. Become the positive force that draws to you all that you are, which is all that you need. Next month is questions and answers. So get ready, right? Have fun. Lwch yn numera.